This is sort of a test run. I've been making a lot of changes to the data editor. I've changed like I think around 150 Danish players. I went a little bit overboard because, well, if you change one thing, then there's just a lot of other things that need changing. Yeah, but that's what it is. So this is sort of a test run because I don't remember exactly how I did it back when I first moved all the game files to the Android. So I'm going to try and see if this works. Because this time I've only Italian, Spanish or German. It's always the question. I think we're going with the Spanish one this time. Yeah, right. And yeah, choosing the same one. Right, so I've changed a lot of Danish players, obviously, because that's what this mission, the quest, the World Cup '98 quest, what it's all about is making the World Cup as accurate as possible, at least for the Danes. So far, I don't know. I might go overboard with this, but probably not, because it's taken me a while with the Danish players. And what I did was, well, I had to go in and get, instead of just starting at one place and sort of randomly altering stuff that I've noticed, then I had to sort of get an overview of the database. So I did that with a spreadsheet. I had like, I'm actually sitting here next to my computer so I can show you guys just on the small screen, because I don't want to be editing this video too much. But let's see, maybe you can see some of that stuff. That's the spreadsheet with lots of colors on it and lots of players. So I made sure, first of all, my first priority was that the 22 players that were actually picked for the World Cup were, well, that they were playing the right position, and that they had sort of the ability and potential that would be reasonable. Because the thing is, the scouts for SI, they did a hell of a good job. But they did that job back in '97, so we know a bit more now. I know who was selected for the Danish squads in 2000 and 2002 and 2004 and so on. So so with the benefit of hindsight, I had the opportunity to make it a lot more accurate. But that also meant that if I wanted to go and change players like, for example, Martin Laursen, and who else became really good? I don't know. Yeah, Christian Poulsen, who I actually created him, couldn't help it. But if I went and changed players like that, and I did, then for the sake of balance, then I also had to change a lot of stats for the worse, because some of the Danish players become unreasonably good in the game, just a normal game. I don't know, players like Morten Bisgaard, for example, or who else? I don't know, lots of players though. So I had to change them as well, and that required the spreadsheet so that I could sort of balance things out, because I don't want to. My goal is not to win the World Cup. I could easily do that just by cheating and stuff, or just by knowing the database and knowing who to pick with the big occasions, and I've seen a lot of that stuff. So it's not really about that, it's not me trying to win the World Cup and sort of showing off what a great manager I am, even though of course I am. It's more about trying to get that, well, trying to get the feel of the actual Danish players at the World Cup at that time. So it's sort of just me getting geeky with the database, I guess. Now I went ahead a little bit because when you're a national team manager, time goes excruciatingly slow because you've only got fixtures like once a month or something like that. So we've got 3 World Cup qualifying games, and in real life, then the first match went bad for Denmark. We lost 3-0 in Bosnia, and it was a terrible game for Peter Schmeichel, our best player, who managed to. I think he caused 1 penalty, and I think they got 2 penalties all in all. I watched it the other day on YouTube, and I'm gonna post the link to this a 3-minute version of the match on YouTube, so you guys can check that out if you're interested. And I'm going to try to do exactly the same. That is, I'm not going to try to deliberately lose the match, obviously, but I'm going to try to field the same players in the same tactic as Bo Johansson actually did. And that's pretty much the idea that I've got for this mission, this World Cup mission, Bo Johansson mission. And same thing with the 2 other matches, and as everyone knows, or as you know by now, should know, we actually did manage to go to the World Cup, and that's because we got a win and a draw in the last 2 matches. So, and it's also because this is the current situation in Group 1 in the World Cup qualifying series. We've already got 13 points with 4 wins and 1 draw. So, Bo Johansson already did most of the work for us. So, what I did now was I picked 18 players, and in real life, Brian Laudrup didn't play this match, and I don't know why. Maybe I should go back and see if I could find some old newspaper clippings or something, but I haven't done that yet. I might get geeky like that later on, but he must have been injured, is my best guess. And these are these are 18 players, and I had to pick 18, but really I only know the players that actually played the match, the ones in the starting lineup and the ones that got subbed in. So I've chosen this lineup because, as far as I can tell from the players that he picked, it must have been some sort of 5-3-2 formation, and I've got Jes Høgh because this time I've made him myself, as you know, so I can use him as a sweeper. I'm going to do that with Helveg and Heinze as wingbacks. And Michael Laudrup, I changed his position a little bit, but he's still got the other positions just secretly. But I like him to be just an attacking midfielder center. And then we've got Thomasson. Now he's a forward center instead of an attacking midfielder center. And Moller, got them up front. And Reaper and Larsen as center backs, Schmeichel on goal, Klaus Thompson in midfield. He was quite underrated in this version of Championship Manager. He was really good in real life, but I think he was plagued by injuries and stuff. But he was really, I shouldn't say really good, but really promising at this point in time, actually. And Allan Nielsen, weird career, lots of different groups, clubs and stuff, but also a fair player. And we've got Per Fransen on the bench as an attacking midfielder center, as it should be, then Molnar, and we've also got Ole Bjorn. Right, so, and Schönberg. This guy, I had to make him from scratch. He wasn't even in the game, which is weird because he was an important player for 1. FC Kaiserslautern that year. And he's only 30 years old with 21 caps, so he should be an important player, right? So it's weird that he's not in the game. But anyway, I made him. And one thing that I also did, and this is super unnecessary, but it's also geeky and something that I'm geekily proud of, is the number of caps. The game got lots of them wrong, so I went back and counted the actual matches, the international matches that each of these players had played at this point in time. And this is the correct order that you get if you sort them by matches. So these are the ones that got 9, so on. I think we've got 2 caps. So Dennis Jacobsen, I don't even know who that is. I think I missed that guy. Who is that? That's weird. I'm going to have to check that afterwards. But anyway, I've got lots of great players, and I want to pick some of the ones that there are some. Let me rephrase that. There are some of the players that I haven't picked because they weren't picked in real life, but who I really want to draft for the national team. But I'm not doing that because, like I said, I'm doing this the Bo Johansson way. Right. So let's go ahead. It's a lot of talk. Sorry about that. But I'm counting on you guys to just skip ahead in the videos if they get too boring with me just talking about geeky editor stuff. Yeah. Also, if you start the game as a national team manager, you'll get lots of job offers like this one from Shrewsbury Town and lots of little clubs, especially in England. Also, now that I'm waiting, I might as well say for the record that the game screen recorder pop-down banner thing that you see on top of the screen, I don't know why it keeps popping down. Other than, obviously, the game screen recorder app, they'd like you to know that it's their app that I'm using for free. But I think it would be nice if there was an option for me to pay and get rid of that, because it's really annoying. And the only thing I can do, because I've been to the settings and there's no way to, as far as I can tell, there's no way to just, I don't know, make it go away forever. So each time it pops down, I just use my thumb and flick it up again. And that's pretty much all I can do about it. Right. So, I guess, like we always do in this time, we have in this game we have a little bit of waiting time, and actually, the reason that we've got this waiting time now is because I wanted to show you the team as I picked them, because the day in the calendar was the day that I had to pick the team. So obviously stuff might happen in this game that didn't happen in real life, like some of these players getting injured or banned or whatever. In my research, I did read about one player, and I forgot the name. I forgot who it was actually, which is kind of silly. But one of the Danish players actually missed the World Cup because of injury. Just don't remember who. But the next game is on the 20th, right? 20th of August. So we've still got a little while to go. I've got the team picked. And well, now we just have to wait it out. And I realize this might be boring, and I don't want to be in the business of making boring videos, so I'm going to edit some of this out, I think, probably. But that's really the question, because if I do that, then yeah, I'm probably going to do that. But when I do that, then it's a little bit more. It's not as easy to publish as just sharing to YouTube immediately after filming. So let's see. But I think I want to do that because I was cut off short the last time, so why not? By the way, I'm sitting in my teenage boy's room right now. I've got a 16-year-old kid as well. Some of you have met my 11-year-old kid, but I've got a 16-year-old, and now I'm sitting in his bed in his room because he's not at home, and this is where I can get peace and quiet. And at some point, I'm going to have to go and eat dinner, so I might get interrupted. So probably what I'll do right now is just click ahead until I'm at the right date, then stop the recording, start a new one, then start a new one at on match day, which is the next day. So it doesn't look like we get any injuries to the players that I've selected. So let's just hope that everyone is fit for the game, so that I can actually field the players that Bo Johansson did. Right, so Laudrup is actually the only one who's not totally fit. Probably he would have still played if this had been the case. Well, he most certainly would. So let's just try it. Right. And if I lose 3-0, oh, Helbeck. No, actually I'm pretty sure the actual captain was Peter Schmeichel. Helbeck has influence 15. This guy's superb, and with 18 in influence, yeah. So I'm going with Schmeichel. And tap of the space bar. There we go. See, Bosnia is quite a good team, but they didn't make it to the World Cup. Denmark and Croatia did. Right. It's going pretty much according to plan. I think the 5-3. Oh, this is very good. With the 5-3-2 formation, we're playing sort of defensively. And we've got a Klaus Thompson goal, probably with a header, which is what she was really good at. This looks okay. Bosnia. They're playing like this. I think probably this guy, Bujan or Gudelj. Oh, that's probably who we should be afraid of, right? Everything looks... Oh, wrong team. Everything looks okay, I guess. I think the wingbacks are not doing very well, so that could be a problem with the formation. Allan Nielsen could be playing better, but he provided the assist, so let's just keep him on field. So, yellow card for Herweg. And he isn't playing all that well, so I might do the same as Bo Johansson did in the real match and sub him with a legend from a Danish legend, Brøndby legend. This guy was really good technically. You can play the defensive midfielder right or a defender right, but really he was a Brøndby stable in those years, and I think even though Herweg is one of the best players, I think that substitution made sense, especially after the yellow card. Oh no. And we should be really unlucky if Schmeichel ends up playing as terribly as in the real world. But you can check that out in the link to the actual match that someone else posted on YouTube. Right, so Nielsen doesn't play well at all. And Laudrup is kind of tired, but he's the only one making key passes. Well, one of the only ones. So probably I should wait. This is actually no, it is. I was going to say that was his debut. I think it was someone else's debut though. None of those guys. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Must be mistaken. I'll get rid of Allan Nielsen and then have Per Fransen. He played really well for Bolton in those years. I don't know. I think they went up and down from the Championship to the Premier League and back again. Right. So Reaper is doing really well. He looks like this. I made sure he was strong and good at heading, and I made him better than in the actual game, but as you can tell, it's not like I made him too good so that it was unrealistic. But he was a good player, so right. So we're in the 74th minute, and I could substitute Michael Laudrup or one of the strikers. And I'd really like to get I don't know, let's just check the determination. Peter Muller, yes, 20. And they're both pretty fit. I don't know. Thomason has a few runs. I think I'll get rid of Muller, even though he's good with the passing. And getting a rating of 7, even though you've missed all 4 chances, that's not easy actually. That counts for something in itself. So that's a tough decision. But one of those guys have to go. I don't remember who it was in real life, but I'm going to get Molnar on instead of Thomason. Let's see how that goes. Right, corner kick. Sorry, I'm just gonna move around a little bit because I have the sunshine in the window instead of the curtains being closed. So this is turning out really well actually. Probably the way that Bo Johansson intended. Certainly he didn't intend to lose 3-0 because of poor goalkeeping mostly. So yeah, this is a good start, isn't it? The Klaus Thompson goal. He might even make it to the World Cup. I think actually he was the player that I was talking about, who was en route to play the World Cup for Denmark, being in the starting lineup in this match, at least in the qualification, but not making it because of injuries and stuff, right? So this is the final score, and Schmeichel plays really well. So I guess that went okay, didn't it? And I'm going to stop the recording in a few seconds. But yeah, I just want to see the points first, the table, the qualification table. And then I'm hoping that you guys are going to join me for the next match. I'll be posting each of these, and then obviously the matches from the World Cup as well, and then we'll see how that turns out, right? So Greece with more points than Croatia at the moment, and they didn't play any games, either of those teams, right now, as far as I can tell. So yeah, Northern Ireland didn't make it, and that's just like it was in the real world. Fiorentina, they want to buy Søren Kolding. Not a bad idea, even though I did make him a little less good in terms of potential than he was in the game from the beginning. So, saving the game and stopping the recording.